Good morning, everybody, and good afternoon. I'm very excited today to present a program that I describe as one of the most essential things there are, learning Google Drive. It's very important for your everyday use, believe it or not, if you're looking for a job to keep your skills up. And it's just something, once you learn it, you'll be happy that you did. You'll use it all the time. I'm Debbie Walter from Union Public Library, and I want to say there are 3 easy ways to get a Union Public Library card. 1 is to be a student, 2 is to live in town, or 3 is to work in town. And right now, our main headquarters are at 1060 Stuyvesant Avenue. We're in temporary space until they build us a brand new, beautiful library. We are excited about today's program, and next week we have more programs coming up, including one called Weird Science, where you can in fact ask any question you want about the brain, or why do I like chocolate? How come I wake up with a headache? Why do I hate my mother-in-law? Anything you want. So if you're willing to get our newsletter and learn about these programs, please put your email in chat or just write the word yes and I'll add you to the list. And now, without any further ado, I'm going to invite Susan Justiniano, whose name I probably butchered, to please teach us all about Google Drive. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you for that, Debbie. It's a pleasure and honor to be here with everyone. I'm coming to you from Jersey City, New Jersey, and I'm looking forward to sharing the ins and outs, just basic navigation of Google Drive. And just a little bit about me. I am at 20 years experience in information technology education, and I've taught on a variety of different levels with all different types of platforms, software platforms, as well as some different project management tools and things along that line. So today, what we're going to do, I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to show you a small presentation first, and then we're going to go on to the nitty-gritty of Google Drive. So as you can see here, what we're covering today is Google Drive 101, which is the basics. Don't panic. Google Drive is not something that you're expected to learn or will learn overnight. It takes a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of practice. So we have that available to us. We have the time. And we can certainly do that. Give me just a moment here. Technology never works exactly how you want it when you want it to, does it? So here we are, Google Drive 101, and I want to thank the Union Public Library for sponsoring and for making space for this program and this community initiative. So what is cloud storage? We're going to start there. What is it? Cloud storage is a remote physical storage that spans multiple servers in a physical environment that is typically owned and managed by a hosting company. What does all that mean? All that means is that your files, when you save something to the cloud, you're saving it to a bunch of servers and a bunch of computers versus saving it on your own computer. So how does Google Drive fit into that? Google Drive is a cloud-based service, which means that you don't save something to your computer. So it's storage and it syncs your files so that you can use it across multiple devices, whether you are a PC person, a Mac person, a tablet person, a phone person, or a person who's never even known or heard of or used Google Drive. So there are a variety of different ways that you can use it. So what about those who are not in Google and don't have Gmail? Can they use Google Drive? Yes, you can. If someone like me that has a Gmail account and shares something from Google Drive, and you have a Yahoo account or still an AOL account or a company account, you can definitely use Google Drive. So if I share a file with you, and I'm going to go over the steps with you. If I share a file with you and you're Yahoo and I'm Gmail, you can open that up. You will be prompted to sync or associate or verify your account so that Google can give you the full access to everything that's going on. So, but no panic, you don't need to set up a brand new email. You can use your current email. So where is Google Drive available? Google Drive is available pretty much anywhere. If you can open up a browser window, you can log into your Gmail account, uh, and you can access Google Drive from there. You can also access Google Drive from downloading it, the application, because everything is an application these days. You can download it from to your mobile device, whether it's a tablet or a phone or whatever that you use. You can download it there and use it that way. You can download also what's called, excuse me, a desktop application. And what does that mean? Just like you click on Microsoft Word, for example, or you click on something that shows the little icon on your desktop, that's what Google Drive does. It provides you that little icon so that you have a local copy, and that's what that's called, a local copy of Google Drive. Instead of opening up your email, opening up a browser, logging in, and going directly to Google Drive. This is when you do the desktop application, it's one-stop access. You click on it, you open it, you access it, so long as you're logged in, just like everything else in this world. So why is Google Drive important? In this day and age where everything is moved to technology, or things are moving toward technology and things are happening, you want to be able to get to your files. And if you are not a tech person, and trust me, I was not a tech person before either. It's something that you learn as time goes on. If you are not a tech person, you can still navigate Google Drive, and you can access it, and you can back up your files. If you have important files, for example, you can back up your files from your computer to Google Drive and have them accessible to you wherever you are. So let's say I'm at home and I have important documents on my computer, but my computer's been acting a little weird. So I want to be sure that I don't lose my documents on my computer. And I want to be able to save them somewhere that I know I can get to them should my computer crash for any reason, or if I lose my device for any reason. So I can then go ahead and access those files from anywhere and not worry about them being lost. So those are just a few of the reasons why Google is important. Google Drive is important. And the same goes with any other cloud storage that you may use. You may use OneDrive. You may use iCloud. You may use Dropbox or any of the other ones. They all work basically the same. There are not many differences, maybe with what they name things or where the locations are for commands. But other than that, they act pretty much the same. So I wanted to ask if there were any questions at this point before we go ahead and dive into navigating Google Drive together. Were there any
Yes.
questions?
Is there a cost to subscribe or use the service?
That is a great question. Thank you for bringing that up. So if you have a Gmail account, you have access to Google Drive for free up to 15 gigabytes. If you are an entrepreneur, if you are a business person and your files are constantly on the go and you're collaborating, there is a minimal charge of, I think, $1.99 a month for up to 100 gigabytes. But initially, if you're going to use it just to keep your files, and 15 gigabytes is a lot. So if you're a person who likes to save all your pictures, likes to save videos and things, some of those files will take up a lot of space. But 15 gigabytes takes a long time to get to. So that's free. And then anything after that, you can subscribe for $1.99 a month. Thank you for that. Any other questions? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that I can share the actual Google Drive.
Susan, we have a question from someone. I use Dropbox to Google. Is Google Drive similar?
Yes.
And
thank you for that question.
And does Google look at the contents of the files you uploaded, or are they private?
All your files are private, and that's an excellent question, especially for today. All of your files are private until you share them. So it's not like Google has access to your files or that they can go ahead and access your files. That's not what happens there.
And some people are saying that the sound is coming across as a little muffled, so maybe you can go closer to the mic or something.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. Okay, is this any better?
I hope so. Let's go. Let's see.
All right, excellent. Glad to hear that. Okay, so what I've done is I've shared my screen, and what you're seeing is Gmail. So if you have a Gmail account, you log into it on a regular basis and you access your Gmail. You send emails, you receive emails, you delete emails, you check out the information that's happening, and you have your different tabs in your main screen here. How do you navigate at this point? How do you even find Google Drive? So there are a variety of different ways you can do that. And the great thing is Google provides that to you, immediate access to Google Drive from here. You can see on the upper right-hand corner of the screen where it's to the left of my icon or the left of my logo. And if I hover over it, you see that I have a Google account and my email address there. So you can look to the left of it, and that's called an application launcher. So what you want to do is click on that. And if you're following along and you're doing the steps with me, you can click on it and you can see a window pops up. In this window, you can see the different applications that are available through Google. And some of them may be familiar, some of them may be new to you. So you see that Google has Chat, Google has Meet, and it has all these different things. So what you want to find is the Google Drive. And the distinctive icon of the triangle with the three colors, or the multicolored triangle, is your Google Drive. So once you get there, you can click on it, and it will open up a new window for you. As you can see from my Google Drive, I use it a lot. I use it all the time. I'm in here all day long. And what we're going to do now is we're going to navigate to see what these different things are in Google Drive. On the left-hand side, you will see a navigation pane. This navigation pane tells you the different things that are available in Google Drive, okay, where you can see your own drive. This new button we'll go over in just a moment. And then you can see things that are shared with you. If I send you a file and you don't know where it is, but you remember seeing the email that you shared, that I shared it with you, you can go to your Google Drive and you can click on Shared with Me and it'll show you your files. You can see anything recent that's happening. And let me just click on that so that you can see it. So I can see these files that have been shared with me. So these are recent files that I've accessed, that I've gone into, that I've done different things in. I can click on Shared with Me, and I can see all the files that have been shared with me instead of like my own files, which would be my drive, okay? Any questions on how I got there and where I am right now?
Yes, one question. Are these slides going to be available afterwards?
Absolutely. I'd be happy to send them over to Debbie and then she can forward them to everyone on the list, okay?
And I will.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So here we are. We are now in Shared with Me so that I can see the files that have been shared with me. If it's a file that I don't remember where it is or how to locate it, this works basically like saving something to your computer. When you save something to your computer, and let me just get to that, you're doing it in what's called File Explorer when you search for something. And that's that little folder that's at the bottom of the screen in your taskbar. And it works the same way. The structure is pretty much the same as in Google Drive. So it will feel familiar. It will look familiar so that it's not something that you will need to learn again. It's not something new you need to learn. It may take a little time to navigate through it because the commands are different or the area where things are located might be different, but the structure is basically the same. I can see my files here, the top ones, the suggested files, just like everything else. And I can see everything here, right there in the main window of the screen. And I can scroll up and down if you have multiple files like I do, or maybe you don't have anything in Google Drive and your screen is blank. And that's perfectly okay. We're going to go over how to upload something to Google Drive. So here we are, we have Start, and those are the things that might be important. Those things that mean something to me, those things that I want to get to right away without having all that other stuff on the screen available. So I can go in there and click on that. and look at a specific folder or a file that I want to see right away. And then, of course, your trash. So anything you delete to Google Drive stays in Google Drive for about 30 days, and then it disappears. So you have the opportunity, you see here where it says last month, and you can see that these two files are still here, and they'll eventually go away. They will disappear, but they will hang around for 30 days if you realize afterwards that I didn't mean to delete that, or I deleted that by mistake, or I really deleted that, but I need that back now. Because you never know. Because you know as well as I do that the minute you delete something is when you need it. So it hangs on for a while. So here we can see how much storage space. As you can tell, I use 57.13 gigabytes out of 100 gigabytes that I have available. So that's a lot. So eventually I got to get in there and clean it up. So I need to get that done. So that's the left-hand navigation pane. Any questions about that part of it before I move on to the next part? Okay, I love it. So let's look at the main screen. On the main screen, you will see your search bar. You will see your search field, and you can search any type of document. You can upload a bunch of different types of files into your Google Drive, and you can see it gives me a variety of options here. If I'm looking for something specific, I can click on this. I can type in a keyword, for example. Let's say if I type in something, a keyword, see what pops up. You can search for something. Instead of trying to scroll to find different things, you can type in a keyword and find it. And it gives you the dates of what your files are. Here, I'm going to X out of this because I don't need to find anything right now. I'm going to go back to my drive, and I can go in here and I can search this information. Here, you're looking at the screen, the main screen. We covered the left-hand navigation pane. We covered what search is. Now, what we're going to cover are these icons over here on the right-hand side. Google does offer support if you need assistance. You can click on help and type in your question. And usually what will happen, like with every other help function, it provides you a bunch of different hits or a search results is what you're looking for. So you can utilize that information. Here, this gear, as with everything else, are your settings. So you can then go into Google Drive and you can adjust your settings. In those settings, it also provides you the option to get Google Drive for the desktop, which is the icon on your desktop that will take you directly to Google Drive, versus opening up an internet browser and then logging into your account or going to your Gmail, and then so it saves you 2 or 3 steps downloading the desktop application. Typically, Google's applications are free, so you don't have to pay anything to download them. That may be something that is maybe time efficient for you, so you can download that for yourself. You can also, if you're a person who likes keyboard shortcuts, I'm a clicker, so I like to click around different things. I'm a right mouse click, left mouse clicker. So here, I clicked on keyboard shortcuts, and it provides me different types of keyboard shortcuts. If you are a typer, and I grew up in the age where you type everything, you can utilize your keyboard shortcuts. So that's available there to you. And I'm just going to X and close this. You can also see that the application launcher is also available here. And as you navigate from one Google app to another, this will always be visible to you. This toolbar remains pretty much consistent. So I can click on that and I can see the other applications just like I did in Gmail. And then your account information. So let's go to the taskbar or the navigation bar directly below that. Most of the stuff is right here on the right-hand side. And I can see that where it says My Drive on the left-hand side, there's a downward-facing arrow. I can click on that downward-facing arrow, and I have a bunch of action items. We'll go over that in just a moment. So here on the right-hand side, I can change how I view. If you are a worksheet person and you like to view things in table format, in list format, you have that option. You can also change it back. I like to view things in this way. I like to see my folders. So you can switch back and forth. There's no right or wrong. You can do whatever makes you happy. If you wanted to get information about, let's say, a specific file, you can click on that. You can look at what's going on in My Drive. And all this is here is just an information window. It pops open and you can close it by clicking on the eye, the small eye with the circle around it, or on the X, which indicates close. Here, we can see that we can have quick access to different things. We can have access from our drive directly to our calendar, which will open up in a new window. We can also access different things we may want to keep. We can create tasks for ourselves. So there are different things here. So directly in the middle, in the main screen, below where it says My Drive, we can see that we have some suggested files. Directly below that, we can see what our folders are. And for example, these are all my folders. Now, if I wanted to, I have them, they're kind of in a specific type of order. They look like they're in alphabetical order. I can change that. I can change the order. I can reverse the order. So if I wanted to do from end to beginning versus beginning to end by naming convention, I can do that as well. You can name your folders however you like, whatever is comfortable for you, and you can organize your Google Drive, and we'll go over that in just a moment. You can organize your Google Drive how you see fit and whatever suits your life. Any questions about what I just covered right now?
Yep, a few questions.
Okay.
Can Google lose your files?
Yes. I can imagine that typically does not happen. They don't, because Google tends to do redundancies. So by redundancies is the backup to the backup to the backup. So if one of their servers goes down, for example, they have a redundant server that then does not lose your files. So your files will always exist somewhere. There might be the rare occasion where something might get lost, but it's highly unlikely.
And how do you have 100 GBs if Google starts with 15 GBs?
I had to purchase it. So here you'll notice on the left-hand navigation pane, it says buy storage. So I clicked on that and it provides me with and it is $199 for 100 for the basic plan. And you can click on it and you get billed on a monthly basis. So it gives you just the different information.
And I started, just so you all know, I'm on the 100 gigabytes and I have plenty of storage space.
Yeah,
what is the yellow box in the right upper side?
Yellow box in the right upper. This one here?
Yeah.
Let's click on that and see. So it's called No Notes. These are your notes. So Google, like Microsoft has notes. These are your notes if you want to make notes for yourself on the go. So it's another application that syncs with Google and syncs with your Gmail that you can create notes for yourself. You can make a shopping list on the go instead of writing it on paper. You could take it everywhere you go. If you see some links, you can create links for yourself instead of creating a document. And you can do this on the go as well as doing it from a mobile device and from your desktop. Like if I wanted to create something, I could do that here. But that's a whole other class.
Thank you. Thanks, Susan.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Wait, one more question. Is the notes connected to an individual folder?
You can, I imagine, associate them to a folder. You can likely create that sync, that relationship, where the notes would then show up, like the icon for your notes would show up.
Okay, thank you, Susan.
You're very welcome. My pleasure. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. If you are logged into Google and you have gotten to this point, and if you don't remember how to do that, click on the application menu, the application launcher, and just look for the Google Drive icon. It's distinctive. You're not going to miss it. So you can click on that to get to your Google Drive. Yours might be empty. Yours might be full and packed with information like mine is. So let's say you want to upload a file because you want to back up your files on your computer. You're going on vacation. You're not taking your computer. And you want to be able to access some files. whether they're travel documents, personal documents they may use for travel, instructions that you may need to send out later for someone, anything that you have, your travel itinerary, instead of printing it, you can upload it to Google Drive. So if I want to upload something to Google Drive, I can do this one of two ways. I can click on the new button, which is on the left-hand navigation pane and distinctive with the little plus sign. And I can determine what it is that I would like to upload. I want to create a file upload. Let me create a folder, for example. If I already have on my computer an entire folder that's for travel, for vacation, and I want to upload that, I can upload the entire folder. A note about uploading information. Keep in mind that this is a web-based application. And what that means is that it uses the internet. So if you're home and you are using Wi-Fi, this can only go as fast as your Wi-Fi is strong. So if you have a bunch of things going on, a bunch of devices that are tapping into your Wi-Fi, you're streaming music or you're watching TV and you're using one of the streaming services, all those use Wi-Fi. So if you're doing all that and there are multiple people in your home, in your area, you'll see that your Wi-Fi is slow. So just keep that in mind. Best time to upload files and folders to get instant access to them is to wait early in the morning or late in the evening, so that you're not struggling or experiencing frustration. And just keep in mind that depending on the size of your file, it may take a little while for that file to sync to your Google Drive. A perfect example of that is a video versus a document. If I upload a one-page document to my Google Drive, it happens like that, really quick. If I upload a video that's 15 minutes, has graphics, is moving, and has music, that might take 15 minutes, that might take half an hour, that might take all night long. So just keep those things in mind so that your expectations are met when you're uploading information and you're uploading files and folders to Google Drive. Any questions about uploading files and folders before I show you actually how to do that? Is there anything out of the ordinary that you'd like me to cover? Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to create a folder. And I'm going to click on that. You notice that the window popped up that says new folder. And I'm going to name it test Google 101. And if you're following along with these steps, while we're doing this, you're welcome to do that for yourself. You can call it that, or you could call it whatever you'd like. And I'm going to click on create. And what happens is that now I have a folder in my Google Drive under the tab that says folders. And you'll notice that it's highlighted in blue, so it's not lost. If there is a challenge that you cannot see that blue, that is highlighted, you can always go back and you can click on recent. And you can see that it exists. I can see earlier this week, I can see that information. I can always search for it as well. I can go back to my drive. Let's say you got a phone call, you created your folder, you got a phone call, you come back, you say, oh, I don't remember, I can't find my folder now. So you remember you called something test. Oh, I'm in the wrong place. So test. And I can see the information that's popped up here. Okay, so it doesn't show up. So let's do Google 101 and see what comes up. So nothing. So, all right, I can't find my folder. What's going on? So now I want to be able to find it. Okay, now I want to find this in my drive. Now I know I named it, let's say, I don't remember, but I named it with a T or a W at the beginning. I can then order how these are done. You notice here it's with a W. So I know I called it with a T and it's in here, test Google 101. So there are a variety of different ways you can find what it is that you're looking for. Sometimes it takes a minute or two to sync in other areas in Google because, again, you're using the Wi-Fi. And if your Wi-Fi is being used by multiple people, it takes a minute or two to sync. But you will find it. It is there. So I've created this folder called Test Google 101. So I'm going to click on it, and you see that it's blank. It's asking you to add folders and add information. And there are different ways that you can do that. You can do what's called a drag and drop. And if you're not familiar with that term, all that means is that you're taking it from one location. And I'm just going to reduce the size of my screen just a little bit so we can see that. And let me get out of this. And what we want to do is drag and drop. So you see I have a lot of things open in the background. So here we are. This is my desktop here. And this is my Google screen. And let me minimize that again. I'm just going to reduce the size just a little bit. So I can open next to it, I can open File Explorer. And I can drag a folder or a file from my File Explorer, which is the manila looking envelope at the bottom. And you can click on that. And if you go to your local computer, to your documents on your computer, you can drag something from there. And let's say, for example, that I want to drag something specific from this. And I'm going to drag over, let's see, what do I want to drag over? So I want to drag over something simple, and I'm just going to drag over, and I can hold on to it, and I can move it, and you can see it appearing on the screen, and it's telling you that it's uploading the single file. So you can have two windows open. You have your File Explorer, and you have your Google on the web or your Google desktop application open, and you can drag. You can hold on to something specific and drag it over to upload. And you can see that it takes a minute or two. It tells you what it's doing, and it tells you when the upload is complete. So another way to upload to Google Drive is by clicking on the new, and I'm in this folder, so it's going to save it to this folder. I can upload a file, and what happens is that it opens up the information, and it directs me in my File Explorer as to where I want to go. So I can go in here at any point, and I can select something, and I can select a folder, and you can see I have multiple folders here, and I want to save something specific to this. Now you can see these are all a little disorganized. So I want to organize it. I want to keep my information in one place. I want to keep my stuff organized. So here we are. Now, if I want to search for my file, I can search for it here, or I can utilize the search function here. And then what I want to do is I'm just going to select a file. So I've selected this PDF file. The previous upload was a JPEG, which is a picture. And I can click on Open. And it takes a minute. It's telling me it's loading it. It's telling me the file. And it's showing me that it's been completed with the little check mark. And let's see if I can't move that. The little check mark in the circle that shows that the upload is completed. So those are a couple different ways. Another way that you can upload to Google Drive is by in the folder, in the main body of the screen, you can right mouse click, and you can see that you have the same options that you have here. So you can then click, if you don't remember where to find anything else, you don't remember where to find how to upload a document, when in doubt, right mouse click. So then you can have that and see that that function is available to you. You can select then, click File Upload, and then you can select something else that you may want to upload. So let's say this is, I think, is a video. So I'm going to upload that one. That one's a short video, so it shouldn't take very long. And it's telling me that I've uploaded. You see that it even gives me the extension. MOV is a movie or a video. You see that took a little bit longer than a plain document or just a flat two-dimensional picture. So this is how you upload to Google Drive. So let's say, for example, you realize you uploaded the wrong thing and you need to get rid of it because you don't really need it. So you can click on it, hold your mouse down, and then you can drag it to the trash. And it immediately removes it. As I said before, it stays for 30 days. Excuse me, it stays for 30 days. So there it is. That's what I just deleted. So now I can go back and I can look through my folders, and there are two ways you can do that. You can click on the back arrow, which will take you to the last place you were. And you can do that until it's ended, until all the activity in the window that you were in is completed. So if you're not sure, so I'm in trash now. How did I get there? How do I get back to where I was? Just click on the back arrow. It'll be left-hand facing to go back, right facing to go forward, to go to the next one. Any questions on this part of it so far? No? Okay.
Nothing in chat.
All right. I hope you guys are with me. Your eyes aren't glazed over, are they? So if you're following along and you want to try to drag and drop, you want to try and upload files, the different ways to do so, you can do that. If you're a person who likes to watch first, you can follow later because this is being recorded, and you can stop and do and stop and do. And I'm sure Debbie would be happy to share the link to the video once it's available.
Absolutely. I'll send it out to everybody.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. So here we see that now we've uploaded something to Google Drive. We've uploaded things. We have this folder. And now when I clicked on the folder, I have a new menu. I have a menu. Now, what do I do with this folder? Let's say I'm going on vacation and I want to send my family that information that's in this folder in case anything should happen. If I should lose anything, they have all the information. In my itinerary folder, they will have my flight information. They will have my medications that I'm taking with me. They will have my allergies that may be listed. They may have like my emergency contact information. They'll have a variety of different information. And I want to send it to my family. I want them to have it before I leave for vacation. So what do? I clicked on the folder and I want to be able to send it to them, to share it with them. There are a couple different ways that you can do that. You can do what's called a get link, which is directly in the second section of this window, or you can share. So if I click on the share button, I can see now that I have an action window. I can take action in this window. And I want to be able to share this with specific people. And I'm going to just share this with myself. And SusanJustiniano@gmail.com. And then they'll get a notification, an email, and you can set permissions. What does that mean, permissions? Permissions means you don't want them to change anything, so you can change that. They have the ability to just view it. They want to comment. You can do a comment. They can edit, which means they can make changes to the files. So here, I'm just going to type. Now, note about this. Google Drive does not send you an email that you have sent this folder out. So if you want this information to come to you, to keep it for yourself, to keep track of who you're sending what to and what you're sending, or maybe you just want to go into your email and click on it and just have it available, you would have to type in your own email address here. I hope if I could spell. Okay, so there I am. If you've never done it before, what Google does, if you save your contacts, what it does is it pulls from your contacts, it pulls from your recent emails, it pulls from different information. That's where the sync part of it comes. Google talks to each other. Each of the apps talk to one another so that you're not searching for information each and every time you want to do something. If there's someone new that you've never sent them an email, you don't have them in your contacts, you will have to type out the whole entire email address. For myself, since I'm sending it to myself, from myself, I had to type in the whole entire email address. So here, it tells me exactly what I'm sending. I'm sending this folder, and I'm sending it to these two people, and this is the message. So now at this point, I can click on send, and what happens? So now what should happen is I'm back to the email, and I can refresh my screen, and I can see that this folder has been shared with me. And it's taking a minute. Wi-Fi is a little slow. There we are. So I send you a folder, you send me a folder, you send me information, you're going on vacation, you want to make sure that I have your information just in case maybe there are instructions, maybe I'm house sitting for you, you want to send specific instructions. You don't want to have to type them out each and every time. You might want to add notes. Maybe you want the person to upload photos if they're walking your dog, taking care of your pets, anything that's going on. You now have this folder to work with together. Instead of sending text messages, especially if you're overseas, if you have a limited plan on text messaging, and you really don't want to look at your text messages until you're back from your day of activities or you have your downtime in the afternoon. So now this folder has been shared, and you can then you can collaborate. You can add information to this folder. You can upload information as well. So let's take a look and what this is, what this email is. So this email is an indicator that something has been shared with me. And I can see what's been shared with me. And this is the message that I typed. This is a test share. And I can see that the folder is called Test Google 101. Now, I may want to start it because if I'm your house sitter or I'm taking care of something for you, or this is important information, I'm going to click on the star. So now that star is when I go back to my Google Drive, I'll find it there. And we'll go back to that in just a moment. So now I can open this folder. And it tells me who the owner is, what the last edit was. And you can see that it gives me a couple different options on opening it. So if you hover over here, you can click on the folder. And what it does is it opens directly to the folder. This share does not allow anyone to see anything else that is going on in your Google Drive. This is the only thing that they will see because this is the only thing you have shared with them. They will not have access to any of your private documents or any other information in your Google Drive. And I know that for me, I don't know for you, that's very important. I need to know that my stuff is secure, that if I'm sharing something with a third party, that they're not going to see anything else going on in my Google Drive. So that's sharing the folder. And at this point, if I'm a house sitter or if you and I are talking about something and I need to add information to this folder so that we can move forward, let's say you ask me for a price quote and you've created this folder. So I can then go ahead and click on new. I can go ahead and click in the screen, right mouse click and upload something. I can go ahead and just click on the downward facing arrow next to the name of the folder and I can upload something again. Any questions on that? Any questions?
Yes.
On yes,
Two questions. Can editor delete?
Yes, when you give someone editing permissions, they can delete. However, keep in mind, as the owner of the folder, it still remains in your trash. So if they delete something, you can go to the trash and find it there. That's where.
And is there audit trail that you can recover or go back to previous version?
Absolutely. It does maintain an audit trail for things that are happening. You can look at your recent activity. You can look at information. Like, let's say I want to see information about this folder. I can do that. That's what this button is for. You can see anything that's happening.
And Gina asked the question that I also find a few times. I shared a document with others, but they did not receive an email alerting them. I shared, a document was shared with me. Sometimes it goes the other way. Somebody shares a document with me, but then they don't receive the email. When I checked my shared drive, the document was there.
Okay, great question. So we all have a junk folder. So if you realize that in their inbox, especially if it's the first time that you're doing this, you're sharing with someone, or you're not in the habit of doing that, or Gmail or the internet does whatever it wants to do. It pulls them in what's called your junk folder. So let me go in here, and I'm in Gmail right now, clicking on the More tab at the very bottom, and I can see that my spam folder is there, and I have 227 items in my spam. So I can click on that, and sometimes those things will end up here, will end up in your spam folder. So it's a matter of going there, or the other thing you can do is I'm in my inbox, I don't see your email, I don't see it. Okay, so now I want to look for shared folder, shared with me. I want to see things that are shared with me. So I can see then, I can type shared with you and I can see all the files that have been shared with me. If I know, okay, what's the name of my folder? If I want to call it, let's say test, I can look it up and see. So you can utilize search. It does create quite a bit of frustration when you can't find what you're looking for right away. So search is always your best friend. Search will always be your best friend. When in doubt, search first. Great question. Thank you for that.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So now we're back in Google Drive and we are now at 12:47. And I just wanted to take a moment just to show you a couple of different neat things that, that are available here. If you're in Google Drive and you want to create a letter, a document or something, you don't have to get out of Google to your computer to do that. You can go in here and you can create a document. As when I clicked on the new button, I can go ahead and create a new document. I can create a spreadsheet. I can create a PowerPoint slide. Let's say I'm on the go and I'm supposed to be doing something for work, but I'm on vacation. But you know what? You know, the day before I'm coming back from vacation or while I'm waiting at the airport for my plane, I can go ahead and create my information. I can create my slide. I can create my document. I can create my sheet, and it will save it to your Google Drive so that if your computer dies, and that's another great reason to save things to Google Drive. If you're traveling, if you're out on the road and you forget your charger for your laptop or for your mobile device, if you save something to Google Drive, it doesn't matter that your device died. You don't lose your work. You can find it when you log back in, when your devices are charged back up. So those are some quick things, some great tips and some information. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. And I just wanted to leave it open for any questions or comments or feedback. Or if there's something you'd like to have covered that I didn't cover.
Feel free to unmute yourself and ask the question yourself.
And please turn your cameras on if you'd like. That would be fantastic. So let's see here. So we have a question from Greg. Greg says, is it a good idea to back up your Google Drive? And what is the best way to do that? It is always a good idea. And that is a fantastic question. It's always a good idea to back up everything you have. I have 3 redundancies to anything that I do. I have my computer, I have my drive, and I have an external drive. And you can get an external drive from anywhere. And an external drive is just like a thumb drive, if you're familiar with thumb drives, except that it holds a lot more information. And you can organize it exactly the same way your Google Drive is organized and exactly the same way your computer files are organized. And the next question, is a Google document the same? Yes, it works along the same premise. They don't call it for marketing, trademarking, copyright reasons, but Google Docs works the same way as a Microsoft Word document.
Jürgen, do you have a question? Jürgen has a question. Would you like to ask it yourself?
Sure, sorry, I'm muted because I'm having lunch.
Mute.
So the question is Google Drive and Google Photos. Can you move photos to Google Drive and vice versa without downloading them to your laptop or MacBook?
I don't use Google Photos. What I will do is I will find the answer to your question and I will send it to Debbie so that she can forward that to you.
Happy to do that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
If anyone has any other questions like that, let me know. I'm just looking to see any other questions. We're going to do a quick Union Public Library commercial, and then we'll return for one more round of questions. First of all, Susan, you did a great job of explaining things. I learned a lot, and I thought I was a pro at this, so thank you. Okay, so here is Union Public Library. We are at 1060 Stuyvesant Avenue in Union. If you live, work, or go to school in Union, you can get a library card, which now gives you free access to the New York Times, free access to tons of movies you can have access to without even going into the library that you can stream on your computer or your television. Lots of great books and magazines and all kinds of things. These programs are open for anybody And we hope that you'll want to keep knowing more about them by signing up for our newsletter. All you have to do is write the word yes in chat, and I will put you on our list. Best thing about the newsletter, you can unsubscribe easily. Next week, in the next couple of weeks, we have a nutrition class coming up next week on holistic nutrition. And we also have a great program on brains. And the thing that's wonderful about the brains question is she will answer any questions such as, why do I wake up Tuesday and think it's Wednesday? Why do I yawn? Why do I, whatever, why does that person irritate me so much? So I hope that you'll sign up for the newsletter. I hope that you'll keep coming to the programs, and I hope you'll find out why that person irritates you so much. Susan, one more round of questions from anyone. How can we access the video afterwards? I will send you a link. Gina, ask your question.
Hi, a few slides back, when you were in your drive and it was populated with all of those folders, there were little icons on the folders, like a face or an arrow. What do those mean?
Great question. Thank you for asking that. So the little silhouettes or the faces means that it's a shared folder. The arrows mean that it's not. So let me just share my screen so we can take a look at that. Take a look at what you're referring to. And I'm just going to share my screen, and we can go to Google Drive, and here we are. So you see here that you're looking at now the screen of my Google Drive. So now we have here, this one here, the first one listed has a little silhouette on it. The one next to it does not. This one here means that it is a shared folder because it has that, and it shows you that it's shared. This one is not shared, so you don't see anything in there. Okay, so that's what you're referring to. And then something like this, where this is a folder that was shared by someone else that I saved to my Google Drive. So you can do that as well. You can make a copy to your Google Drive.
I'm sorry. I have a follow-up now. Something I didn't think to ask until you were just explaining. So I didn't realize when you're saying sharing a folder, you're talking about like an actual folder, not a document or like one file, one sheet. You're talking about the entire folder?
Yes, and let me click on one of these just so you can take a look at it. So I clicked on Palabras y Poesía, which is an event that I did here in Jersey City. As you can see, I clicked on it, and I have, within that folder, I have subfolders to organize the information. I also have some wayward documents here, some wayward files. And on the right-hand navigation pane, when we click, remember we talked about that information button here? You can see the information for this folder. You can then see who it is shared with, and you can see this location of it and all the information about your file. And you can add a description to your folder and add a description as to what this is. So anyone who has access to it can then go ahead and look at it. And as you can see here, that there are multiple people who have access to this folder.
Okay, so I didn't realize that. Okay, so you can have a folder and put document after document, and then people can just go in there and look at it rather than having to share document after document with someone.
Right, you can share one folder, and as you can see here, I have subfolders within that folder so that you create them the same way you did your original folder. And then I have individual files. You can just populate, just add, keep, and you can collaborate. These people here who have access to this folder can also add information to this folder.
Okay, that's good, because that also might help then with the issue of, it's like, I'm not getting an email saying that someone shared with me, but if there's a folder, they could just dump it in. I could just go check every so often when I know I should have it.
That's correct.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, we have another question in chat or a
Hello?
message.
Oh, hello.
Go ahead, Jurgen.
Okay. Oh, no, this is Norma.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Norma.
Okay, my question, it's an excellent presentation. I really appreciate that. I want to know today's presentation, will we be able to save this film and put it into Drive, into Google Drive?
The answer is probably not, but you will have permanent access to it as long as Union Public Library has a YouTube a YouTube channel.
So what you
Oh,
can do is you can save this once the link is sent to you. You
Right.
can
We're not going to actually send them the link to the video. We're going to send them the link to our
to the
channel.
YouTube, to the channel. Okay, so you can find it on the channel and then you can save it to a playlist on YouTube. You'll see them, and she's like, "How do I do that?" Right? So let me share my screen, and I'll show you how to do that.
Oh, boy.
It's a lot of stuff, isn't it? A lot of ins and outs.
Extreme, extreme.
Yeah. So here, I'm gonna just move out of the drive, and I'm going into YouTube. And you can see I have a bunch of videos, all kinds of different videos available. You can open up a video, and I'm just going to open up this one. This is, I think, the jazz that I was playing earlier.
This
And
is Lumen.
this is the video, and I want to save it because I can't get to this right now. And I want to be able to access it later. So I'm scrolling down on the screen, and you'll notice directly under the title of this video, I have some icons. I can like it, I can dislike it, I can share it with someone else. I can say, hey, you know, send an email, or if you're doing it from your mobile device, you can send it in a text. I attended this wonderful workshop by Susan Justiniano about Google Drive 101, and I thought that you should check it out. So you can send it that way. Another thing you can do is you can save it. So you can click on the save button, and you'll notice I have a variety of different playlists. Okay, I like to be over organized sometimes. And I can click on new playlist and call my playlist workshops. And I can save it, and it's private. No one else sees that it's a playlist that you're sharing with anyone. And I can create that playlist, and now it's been added to workshops. So then I can always go back to YouTube, click on the menu icon, and I can look at my library, and I can look at my different playlists, and I can go back and find it there. So that's how you can save it, and you can go back to it. You can't save it to your Google Drive, but you can save it to a playlist on YouTube. I hope that helped.
Okay, Londa has a question.
Sure, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. The files that you can save, you know, different types. So if it's a Microsoft file, such as a Word, a dot Word, or an Excel, if you open it up and if you make modifications and saving it, are you saving it as a Microsoft file, or does it get converted to a Google file?
That is a great question. They are compatible, they talk to one another. So long as you do not download the file, you are saving it in Google Drive. Your edits and your changes will be live in the document. Keep that in mind. You can open it in Google, and Google will prompt you how you want to open it. Do you want to download it? Do you want to open it in Google Docs? And you can make your edits, and your edits are live. So then it saves it, it automatically saves it as a Google Doc. It can't be called a Word document because of copyright and trademarks. But if you download that, which you will have the option to if you have edit permissions, and or if it's your own document, then you're creating a whole new document when you download it. And you have to remember to upload it again.
So if the document has highlights, tables, and things like that, it won't get distorted.
No, it will not. Typically,
Okay.
depends on how big your file is. Some of them, if you have like in Excel, for example, if you have macros and you have formulas, some of those things don't always translate well. So just keep that in mind.
Thank
You
you.
have to go back and check those, make sure that they're accurate.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Edith, would you like to ask your question, or would you like me to ask it? If I can find it, hold on.
Yes. Can you, do you have to back up your files in Google Drive? And if so, how do you do that?
You don't have to back up your files in Google Drive. That's done automatically by Google. That's why it's called a cloud-based application. They have their servers, they back it up. You're basically saving it to Google's multi-server farm, where they have servers and redundancy. So you don't necessarily have to do that. You can if you like. You can save it to an external drive if you like, or a different cloud-based application. But sometimes those redundancies get a little ridiculous because then you have to remember to go back and save it again and save it again and update the information. So
Thank you.
you're welcome.
I have a question. How soon does it save it? So sometimes I'm ready to move on to exit out and it says document not saved.
Okay, so it depends. It depends on how big your document is and your Wi-Fi. If you are if you are hardwired, which means you're connected directly to the router, or you have high-speed internet in the office, it's usually pretty quick unless you have like a massive document, something that's maybe 1,000 pages. It takes a little bit of time. Same thing with videos or music. If you save MP3 files or you save movie files, MP4 or MOV files, it takes a little bit of time because it has to pull all those elements together to save them.
Thank you. Gina, did you get your question asked and answered? I'm going to assume you did.
Yes, I
you
did. Thank
she's
you.
nodding.
Okay, good. Just wanted to make sure. How about any last minute questions? So in the meantime, thank you so much for being with us this afternoon. I know that a lot of you are busy people. Plus up here in New Jersey, it's a gorgeous day. So thank you for coming inside. Thank you very much to Susan, who is an extraordinary teacher. And I hope that we'll be able to have her teach us all again, maybe Google Drive Part 2. Let's see, I'm just trying to read the last chats. And thank you to everybody for being here again. Please sign up for our newsletter by writing the word yes in chat. And I hope to see you again at another program. Thank you all. Okay.
Yeah, can there be a part 2? Is there a lot more to learn about Google Drive?
If you'd like a part 2, we can break it down into the specific segments and we can actually do live real-time exercises if that helps you. We can share a folder, we can do different things and we can break it down. So part 2, part 3, just let Debbie know what you'd like to see and we'll make it happen.
Which just brings up another good point. Put in chat or let me know how, what programs you would like to see. I see a hand is up. I don't know if that means anything. Norma, did you have a question or was that answered? Asked and answered. Okay, I'm assuming all questions have been asked. If you have any more, just email them to me. Thank you all again, and I look forward to seeing you at a future program, including tonight. We've got Broadway musicals, Oscar-winning musicals. If you don't have info, send me a note. Thank you all, and a special thank you to Danette. Thank you, Susan. Bye.